What's the deal with Texas, dog?
The home state. Then I grew up watching Texas football. They always been real powerful, and they're respected around college football, and they just went on a great run. So it's Texas football. Let's be for real. And I'm from Texas, so.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jackson DePasquale. We are here in the VYPE studios here with a new podcast that we're debuting here on Mondays, and it is going to be our VYPE recruiting show. In this show, we're going to talk about all things recruiting. We're going to be talking to the athletes, to coaches, to college coaches each week, talking about what the recruiting process is like, what their recruiting process is like. And we're also going to just talk about what recruiting is nowadays with NIL, with the transfer portal, all of that stuff. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk to the star-studded athletes, coaches, and college coaches. The other things we're going to do in this show as well is we're going to talk about 5 athletes from around the city of Houston whose recruitments are really heating up. That's a segment we're going to have each week. It could be guys picking up low-level D1 offers to guys picking up huge, high D1 offers. Doesn't matter. We're going to tell you about the guys who are really heating up as far as the city of Houston recruiting. And then our last, or another segment that we're going to have each week will be our Under the Radar segment. That is by far my favorite segment. We're going to pick 3 athletes each week. All these 3 athletes, they might have some offers right now, but these are guys that we believe should be picking up more offers and aren't. And we're just trying to give you all the exposure y'all deserve. So those are the 3 main segments we're going to be talking about on the show. And we're going to kick it off right here with segment number 1, which is our heating up top 5 athletes that are heating up around the city of Houston. The first player on the list that you can see on the screen is going to be 2026 Shadow Creek athlete Carter Stewart. Stewart is a 6'2", 180-pound defensive back / wide receiver who really caught my eye in the 7-on-7 circuit. Extremely athletic, good ball skills, and I really liked his junior tape this year. And a lot of college coaches took notice of that junior year because in the month of January, he picked up 9 offers from the likes of Michigan State, Oregon State, Oklahoma, Arizona State, SMU, and UTSA, to name a few. I think this is a kid that's definitely going to keep increasing the amount of offers he's going to be getting over the next few months. And also to note, his brother is 4-star Texas commit wide receiver Chris Stewart. So keep an eye on this one. I think he's going to be a kid that we could see get to the 20-plus offer number. Really like what I see from Carter Stewart, and that's why he's on this list. Next up on the list, we've got 2026 Conroe defensive back Xavier Harmon. First off, the question we all got to ask, is Conroe High School DBU? I mean, this school has been able to produce the defensive backs at the next level. This past year, they had Dorian Brew, who went to Oregon. Well, now Xavier Harmon, the junior this year, looks to be the next guy on this list. Harmon burst onto the scene last year, as I said, a part of a very talented Conroe defensive back group. Really liked what I saw from him. 6'2", 185, long, lengthy DB that looked really good in man coverage and also can play some zone coverage. And that's why it's easy to see why a lot of D1 programs are going after him right now. He holds 24 offers, and in the month of January, he picked up offers from Kansas, Texas A&M, Duke, Houston, Kansas State, Florida, Ole Miss, SMU, Utah, Oregon State, Arkansas, to name a few. But this is a kid I expect to be one of the top defensive backs, not only in the city, but in the state of Texas come next fall. I think he's a guy that easily could be a high 4-star, borderline 5-star guy when it's all said and done after his senior year. He's another guy who's really heating up in the city of Houston. And then now we're going to go to number 3 here, which is 2026 4-star Iowa Colony wide receiver Jaden Warren. Warren put together a really impressive junior year for the Pioneers this past fall. He's 6'2", 188 pounds, explosive with the ball in his hands, clocked a 10.5 100-meter last year. Really like what I saw from him in the games that I was able to see him play. And then I also got to see him compete at the Navy All-American Combine, where he earned a Navy All-American game invite for next year. So that was huge, big deal for him. After that combine, the recruitment has started to take off even more. He picked up offers from Nebraska, Texas A&M, Miami, Alabama, TCU, Oklahoma State, just to name a few teams. I think this is a guy, like I said with Xavier, I think he's going to be one of the top wide receivers in Houston, if not the state. He's a guy that maybe needs a little bit of development as far as route running ability, but when you talk about speed, explosive plays, can catch the 50-50 ball, this is your guy. So I really like Jaden Warren, and obviously the college coaches have in the month of January. Player number 4 on this list, and this is a guy that if it weren't for the month of January, definitely would have been on my under-the-radar athletes, and that is 2026 Cy Ranch linebacker Calvin Thomas. Thomas recruitment really saw the big boost this past month. He picked up his first offer from Duke, and then he proceeded to pick up 22 total offers in 1 month. This is crazy for any athlete, any prospect. He picked up offers from Ole Miss, LSU, Texas A&M, Utah, SMU, North Carolina, just to name a few. I mean, he's 6'3", 215 pounds, runs a 4.5 40, extremely athletic. I mean, I'm sure you're watching the tape on the screen right now. This is a guy who can play inside, play outside, play on the edge, rush the passer. I think he's a dynamic player that at the next level, a lot of college defensive coordinators are going to love to have, because you can bring him in on blitz packages. You can play him in normal run defense sets. You can also play him in the passing game. So he's going to be an interesting player to keep watching. I think this is another guy. He could be a 30-plus offer guy by the time we look up next fall. So that's another guy that's really been heating up. And then our last player on this list is 2026 Oak Ridge wide receiver James Scott. Scott's recruitment really took off last year, especially in the spring. He picked up 10 offers before his junior season started. 6'5", 200-pound wide receiver, big physical guy. When you look at him, he looks like a Division I talent, and his play this year at Oak Ridge for his junior year really showed that. Since then, since the end of the season, he's picked up offers from Kansas, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Utah, K-State, Oklahoma State, Florida State, Kentucky, Arkansas, UNLV, and Tulane. That's 13 offers this past month. Very impressive. He's now at, I believe, 24 total offers. I think this is another guy, 30-plus offer guy. He's going to be a high-level guy. Not rated or ranked as far as any recruiting sites go right now. I think that's going to change once updates happen in the next 2 months. And I expect him to be, like I said about Jaden Warren, one of the top wide receivers in the city of Houston, if not the state. All right, those are our top 5 players whose recruitments are really heating up right now. If you or someone that you know feel like you should have been on this list, shoot us a DM or drop it in the comments on YouTube. That way we can look out for you and make sure that you make it onto the next list if your recruitment really starts blowing up. But now we're going to head into our second segment, which is by far my favorite segment, which is our Under the Radar Athletes of the Week. As you can see right here, we've got our 3 athletes, and that is 2027 Shadow Creek offensive lineman DeMarcus West, 2026 the Woodlands athlete Parker Stewart, and 2026 Klein Kane quarterback Zach Johnson. Now we're going to go through, and y'all going to be able to see the film and see why we believe these guys are underrated. So we're going to start with player number 1, and that is DeMarcus West from Shadow Creek. West is a 6'4", 250-pound offensive lineman that saw varsity playing time this year as a sophomore at guard. When you're watching the tape right now, I like what I saw from him in the run game, finishing blocks and working double teams to the next level. I think this is a guy that also looked good in pass pro. He holds 2 offers right now early from UNLV and Tulane. When you look at his size, it's easy to see why programs are going to want to jump on him early. I think he still needs a little bit of development, but I think this could be another top offensive lineman out of the city of Houston. Looks really good throughout the reps that I saw him play. I'm interested to see how he does at camps and showcases this offseason. He's going to be a player I'm going to be keeping a close eye on, but it's easy to see why this kid could easily be a 20 to 30 plus offer offensive lineman, or even a 15 to 20 plus offensive lineman recruit in the next 2 years. All right, player number 2 on our Under the Radar Athletes of the Week, 2026 the Woodlands athlete Parker Stewart. Stewart is an explosive athlete that I've liked since his sophomore year. He's a guy who ran a 48.23 400-meter split time in the 4x4 last year, and he's been on varsity since his sophomore year playing corner. This past year as a junior, he played corner and wide receiver. Got banged up, so he didn't get to play the full year. But at corner, he ended up with 3 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6, had 2 interceptions during scrimmages, and then also very effective and explosive in the punt and kick return game. As you can see, the first play on this huddle tape, he takes it 100+ yards to the house. Really like what you see from Stewart. I think he's a guy that could easily be recruited as a slot or a corner. I think that his speed translates to the next level. He just got his first offer from Arkansas State. I think this is a kid that could easily pick up 4 to 10 more offers going into next fall as a senior. And I think that many coaches, while they're looking at him, might doubt the height, the speed, and the play on the field outweighs that. You know, you see a lot of smaller guys play at the next level. I think that you shouldn't look at this kid's height. Look at his tape. Look at his speed. This is a guy that deserves to play at the next level. Our last under-the-radar athlete this week is going to be Klein Kane 2026 quarterback Zach Johnson. Johnson is a 6'4", 220-pound gunslinger, was a first-team all-district selection this year, threw for 2,520 yards and 24 touchdowns. Watching the tape, I really like his accuracy and his ability to push the ball down the field. Also really like his ability to move around the pocket. You know, as you can see in some of these clips, he's getting pressured. He's able to move around the pocket, roll out of the pocket, and deliver a good ball. I think he's a guy, when you talk about the build and what you're looking for at the next level at the quarterback position, I think he's a guy that can definitely do it. I would consider him more of a pocket passer, but you can see on the tape he has the ability to run, he has the ability to move around. Really like what he did this past year for the Hurricanes, and I think this is a guy that easily should have 5 to 6 offers right now when watching his tape. I think he's a guy, when we look back in 2 to 3 months, he will have 6 to 10 offers. I think this is a guy that deserves more attention than what he's getting right now. That's why he's on the under the radar athletes, and I believe that in 2 to 3 months we'll be looking back and seeing him on the heating up list. And that is going to do it for our under the radar segment. For those of you who think that you deserve to be on this list of under the radar athletes, or think that you know someone that should be on the list, DM us and drop it in the comments. Send us your huddle tape. We want to help give y'all exposure. For those of you who feel like you're being slept on right now, that is what this segment is for. And make sure you drop it in the comments. That way we can look out for you guys for next week's episode. But now we're going to move on to the best segment of the show, which is our guest speaker. And we've got a special guest for y'all hailing from the east side of Houston, North Shore 2026 defensive back, Chace Calicut. Stay tuned. We're about to come up with this segment right now. All right, what's up, everybody? We're going into our last segment of the VYPE Recruiting Show. And this time we've got a guest here with us from the east side of Houston, one of the top defensive prospects in not only the state, but the country. We've got North Shore 2026 defensive back, Chace Calicut. Chace, what's going on, my guy?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Oh, yeah, all good. Glad to be here.
Man, big offseason for you already. You just dropped your top 10. You've got Texas, Texas A&M, Bama, Ole Miss, Michigan, Oregon, Colorado, LSU, OU, and Tennessee. What about those schools made you feel like, man, I'm going to lock in on these 10 and kind of figure it out from there?
All those schools, their coaches had took the recruitment to another level. They really treated me and told me that they want me for real. And yeah, that's why they're in the top 10. They changed the recruitment.
So you went on the junior day visit to Texas after you dropped the top 10, and a lot of people put in Crystal. What's the deal with Texas, dog? What's the deal? What is it about them?
Texas, they're the home state. I grew up watching Texas football. They always been real powerful, and they're respected around college football, and they just went on a great run. So it's Texas football. Let's be for real. And I'm from Texas, so.
I got you. I feel you. Hey, they're one of the top teams in the state, in the country. They're a blue blood program. You look at the guys that they've sent to the next level. Obviously, as an A&M fan, I am a little bit biased, but Texas has always been one of those programs that has developed next level talent. So it's easy to see why they're in your top schools. But then talking a little bit about some of the other schools, where are you going to be going to the next few weeks or few months? What are some schools that you really want to check out and get to know their programs a little bit more?
Oh yeah, Alabama, they stepped in my recruitment later down the line, but they came in and they told me they wanted me, so I'm going down there for an official visit soon, and I'm going down there for spring practice. And also Oregon too. Oregon, I'll definitely go down there and see their facility.
For sure. Oregon's also a program that, they took DeCorian Moore from Duncanville this past year. They took Dorian Brew, a local Houston kid, a defensive back this year. So they're definitely tapping into the Houston market as well. Same with Alabama. Jalen Milroe from Tompkins High School. He was the last, before Westlake beat y'all, he was the last quarterback to beat North Shore other than a state championship game. Fun fact. Fun fact if you didn't know that. Jalen Milroe from Tompkins was the last quarterback Actually, to beat them in a regular season game, I believe is what it was. So
Would they be Lady?
they
Demetrius?
beat Demetrius, Shadrach, and
Zach?
Zach. Oh, Zach might not have been on that team.
Yeah, nah.
But they did. But that was the last time that North Shore lost, I think, a regular season game, if I'm correct. You might have to fact check me on that.
That's crazy.
But now in the offseason, you're also playing 7-on-7. So last year when I met you, you were playing with All In. I met you at the Shock Doctor tournament. I think at that time you might have picked up your first offer. I think at that time. Then about a month later, SFE, who's one of the top 7-on-7 programs in the country, they come to Houston to play in the end zone tournament, and they're looking for a DB. And I know someone recommended you, and you ended up playing with SFE, and now you're locked in with them. So talk about what is it like playing for SFE? They had Jeremiah Smith, who just had the superstar freshman season for Ohio State. They've had other guys going to the next level. What's it like playing with SFE, who's one of the top brands of 7-on-7 football?
Yeah, I love playing with SFE. They make me feel like it's home, it's family. We're all the guys, and the coaches. They'll get you right. If you're not right, then they'll make sure your feet right. They'll make sure you backpedal right. They'll make you a good football player, 7-on-7 wise, and they'll lead over to pads.
For sure. And one of those guys that you now train with, who's out of that Miami, kind of South Florida area, is your coach for 7-on-7, Stephen Garibaldi, also known as Coach Dirt. Coach kind of took you in last year, and you've been training with him. What's it like training with him? Because he's also been training a lot of top-tier guys as well.
Yeah, Coach Dirt, he's a real coach. He's going to tell you what it is. He's going to tell you he's not going to cut you no slack. He's going to push you the extra mile. He's going to make sure you make it. So, yeah, I'm really grateful for Coach Dirt.
And you just went to Miami. Y'all played in battle. I believe y'all finished in the semifinal game that weekend. So now the OT7 circuit's about to kick off. I believe the first tournament might be in Dallas.
Right.
What's it like playing on that stage? You know, there's a lot of attention. You got overtime celebs there. You got former NFL players. You've got just the YouTube streaming aspect of it. It's just a crazy event of 7-on-7 tournaments that not everybody gets to play in and experience. So what's it like playing on that overtime circuit that many other people, you're also repping overtime right now. So like, what is it like playing on the overtime circuit?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All you see is 4-star, 5-star guys out there. Every game you're gonna see a crazy top 10 play that you've never seen before. It's real fun out there, but it's bad. It's bad if you're a corner. You got to guard up because it's gonna be every play is 4K camera recorded. Every play.
Well, shoot, you saw Jacaden Ferguson had that one-hand catch last year. You go viral. I mean, these guys, y'all are going viral from the ages of 15 to 18 before you even touch a college football field. Y'all are going viral on overtimes on the OT7 circuit. So it's kind of funny that you say that because you do see it's a lot of wide receivers making plays, and you don't want to be the DB on the other end of it. But playing against that competition has to help once you get the pads, right?
Oh yeah, it feels way better because honestly, my confidence it went through the roof after the first OT7. Like I guard these guys without no pads and a helmet. Oh yeah, I could guard them with some extra 20 pounds. So that really boosted my confidence.
Yeah, and I will say, the first time that we met, you were a little quiet. You might have been a little shy the first time we had met, but then by the time we got to the summer and next fall, definitely saw some energy and some swag brought out about you. And Devin Sanchez, one of your teammates, obviously another high-level guy coming out of the North Shore area, North Shore High School, he brought this up that playing defensive back, you have to have some swag with you. So what is it about the position that now, as going into a senior year, that you've realized from playing with guys like Devin or guys on your 7-on-7 team that you've kind of taken some things from them? What are some things that you're taking from them, whether it be having the swag aspect, certain styles of play? What is it that you take from those other guys?
What I really take from them, from Devin and those really good guys, is their hard work. They come show up every day, do every rep in the weight room. We be trying to cut some reps, cheat weight room, but nah, they come in there and they work every day. That's what makes them good, for real.
So now we're going to touch on junior season. Y'all had a really good year for North Shore. I think y'all went undefeated during regular season. Y'all made it to the regional final, obviously, or state semifinal. Obviously, tough loss to Westlake. But just talk about junior in general. How did you feel it went for you through your play, but also just the year?
Oh yeah, my junior year it was really exciting for me because the first game, South Oak Cliff, I was nervous out there. I feel like a fish beyond sharks. I did not feel confident in myself, I'm not gonna lie. But I made a couple plays and I got that turnover, that strip fumble recovery. And yeah, after that my confidence went through the roof and I don't think nobody could mess with me on the field after that.
That game in general, you saw that was also your first game, I believe, starting too.
Yeah.
So a little bit
Yeah.
nerves maybe coming out of you for the first game, but throughout the rest of the year, you definitely could see your confidence building up. I would say, watching your style of play as a media personnel or recruiting guy, I see you're a very physical guy at the safety position, but you're able to play corner, and I think that is the position you like to play as
Yeah,
well.
right.
But you got good ball skills, but I think that your physicality is a big part of your game. Talk about who are some guys that you try to model your game after, maybe even at the pro level, college level, whoever it may be. Who do you like to model your game after?
Yeah, I like to watch Bobby Wagner, even though he's not a safety, but he's just a physical player, smart guy, high IQ. Jamal Adams, he come down, lay the stick. Sean Taylor, which he was a beast. So I like watching guys and trying to get my game like them.
I got you. So now we're gonna have a little fun with it, okay? If you got 1v1s and we're out in the field, maybe no pads,
Yeah.
what's one NFL player that you want and you say I can lock you out for 2 reps, 1 rep, 1-on-1, 1 rep?
One, I'll say probably like Mike Evans.
You think you can strap Mike Evans?
I think I can strap Mike Evans because he not as fast. I feel like if I could just stay in his pocket and then hope for a jump ball, I think I'd get him.
Mike Evans is pretty good, dude.
Yeah, he is.
That's a guy that's a first ballot Hall of Famer,
he's
gold
veteran.
jacket, coming up on Jerry Rice's record.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'd be there. That's a movie I want to watch right
Yeah.
there. That matchup. That's definitely would be a fun matchup. If you had to get going off of that, talking about NFL guys, who would be your top 5? Let's call it DBs, not just corners. It could be safeties too. Top 5 DBs in the league right now.
Jalen Ramsey, Sauce, Jamal, Lank Boys, and probably like Mika.
Okay.
Mika.
Hey, that's a good group.
Yeah.
All long, physical guys who can play safety or play a nickel or
Yeah.
corner. Also kind of relating to you almost in the style of play that they play with. So I like that list. I might have put Derek Stingley on that list. He's some bias, but that's definitely a top tier list right there. But now kind of transitioning back to the recruiting process. It kind of started fast for you. After playing with SFE, I feel like it really picked up. You got seen more on the OT7 circuit. Schools started coming by this North Shore. Then you had your junior season. More schools came by. Now you're at 30 plus offers.
Right.
As a high school athlete, a recruiting prospect, what is the recruiting process like for those high school kids that might not know what it's like yet, but are trying to understand what it's like and what it can be like for a student athlete?
I feel like it's like a roller coaster. It starts off slow, it picks up, goes fast. You 5 offers one day, you have no offers for a long time, dead period. You won't even talk to a coach, and then you get another offer. It's just on and off, on and off. As long as you just keep your head down, grind, everything add up.
Do you think it's something that a lot of kids don't realize how quick it can happen sometimes? Because I feel like I've talked to a lot of kids that are like, man, I don't know, why am I not getting offers? Or like I'll have a kid text me like, why is this kid in our district getting an offer,
Right.
but I'm not getting an offer? And I feel like they don't realize just like sometimes if you're just patient for a second and you let it come to you, it'll come. If you're trying to go and fight for it, that's great. Keep fighting for it. But
Right.
if you just be patient and let it come to you, it'll come. I think Austin Carlisle is a great example of that. The kid who played at Ridgepoint,
Yeah.
quarterback, he had low tier offers. U of H offers, he commits the next day.
Yeah.
So I think stuff like that, being patient, what you said, it is a roller coaster. You have to just get on the ride,
Yeah.
buckle up, and stay on to the end.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting that you said it like that because I think that's a great analogy for what the recruiting process is. But now kind of going back to your recruitment, you said you went to Texas, you're going to go to Oregon, you're going to go to Bama. Out of the other schools on your list, who are you liking? Who have you been talking to a lot? as of recently?
I went to A&M for their junior day. I liked it down there too. Um, I'm also going to go to Michigan too.
Talking about those two schools, A&M, Mike Elko is a defensive coach. He's going to have probably 2 guys go in the first round.
All right.
A lot of the schools that you're talking to or that are in your top 10 are guys that are going to have guys go to the first round. Does that play any impact into your decision as far as guys that are coaches and teams that are producing guys to the next level after college?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's about 50 to 60% of the recruitment of my decision. I want to go to a school that's going to develop me and take me to the NFL. Like, I want them to make sure and I grow there as a man and as a football player to make it to the next level.
And I think that's an important thing in everybody's decision, kind of figuring out why you want to go to a school. And that's a part of it, but also the education part of it. What are you looking for in a school education-wise? Have you thought about like, okay, I want to play football, but this is what I want to get my degree in.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I really want to learn more about at the college level. What is you, when you're also looking at the schools, what is maybe the educational side that you're looking at as well?
Yeah, I really want to get into like insurance, financing. I want to see how that works out and real estate too. So,
hey, we just had talking about the real estate side of it. We had a guy who played at Cy Ridge, and for the life of me, his name is not coming up on my head, but he used to play at Cy Ridge. He was the #1 quarterback in 2003. He goes to LSU, ends up being a special teams wide receiver guy. Then he played pro ball, and he started his own company where he got into real estate, and then he just created his own company too. So it's kind of cool seeing kids understanding, hey,
right.
football is just a part of it, but I also want to figure out my after football life as well,
Right.
which finance is a great career path to go, or real estate and finance is a great career path to go in. Last few questions I got for you. Just because y'all are such a fun group to go watch at North Shore.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of your best? Give me like your top 3 memories, whether it's at practice, game, on the bus. Like, what are some of your top memories so far playing at North Shore?
One of my memories, it wasn't even us on the field. We was watching a kickoff. It was on kickoff return, and we were all on the field like just getting lit, just like because we finna go out. Like it's like an opening drive. And then one of our kickoff guys, his name Pootie, we call him all Pootie, and he came down, smacked somebody, and made him fumble and scored in the end zone off a kickoff. And after that, we was all lit and we carried him up, we raised him up and stuff. It felt real good. That was a good moment.
Man, I mean, just talking about like you guys, y'all are a special group. Y'all still have a special group, even though those senior guys graduated. Senior year is going to be coming before you know it. You know, you got this off season. Recruiting pretty much all off season with 7-on-7, but then you got senior year. What's that feeling like knowing the next time you put on that North Shore Mustang helmet that we got back there and the full uniform, that this is going to be the last ride in that uniform?
Yeah, I grew up ball boy. My mom, she raised all her kids here around here, and they all graduated from here. So like it was a ride. It's gonna be very special for me. I think it's gonna like really make me think about like dang like for the future stuff. Like I gotta really like no don't take stuff for granted because everything gonna come to the end. Yeah.
For sure. And that's something, even whether you're going to go play at the next level or not, high school kids don't realize is that high school camaraderie and the brotherhood that you have during high school. You look back at those days, even when I'm 25 and I still look back 7 years ago and miss like being in the locker room messing around or going on the bus on the way to an away game, wherever it was. So that's very cool that you're going to be looking forward to that and not taking it for granted. Last 2 questions I got for you. If you could have a walk-up song before you hit the field, what is that song? What are we rocking?
Who Won't Smoke by Nardo Wick.
Okay, hey,
Who Won't Smoke?
That's probably a good option for y'all's defense. Shoot. And then the last question, just talk about what's your motivation doing this? Like, I feel like a lot of kids I've met getting recruited, there's a motivation, whether it's a sibling, parent, whether it's a coach that mentored them really early, whether it's whatever it is. What is your motivation to keep doing this and want to keep doing this?
Yeah, my motivation when I was a kid, it was always my like trying to make my parents proud, like because it was hard growing up. We didn't have this, we didn't have that, so I always wanted to make them proud and like give them what they couldn't give me. And now like I feel like since my late friend VZ had passed, it's like more motivation because he wanted to do the same thing I was doing. So I'll say like I could do this for him. You can live it through me.
Talking about VZ a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a very heart-wrenching thing that happened to the community, for y'all to see that happen, but then also to see that community come together again, see y'all come together and do it with a purpose this year. What just explain that kind of time period and what it was like coming together as a team, as a unit, as a brotherhood
Yeah.
around that event that obviously was a tragic event for y'all.
Yeah, the weekend was crazy. We were just like they was all at a party. We was just having fun. So, like when everybody got the news, we was like, okay, we got to come together. Like this is crazy. Like not easy. He don't do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? So when we came together, we was like, okay, we gotta do great for him because that's all he would want us to do for him. Like if we what he did. So like he would want us to do like be successful and live greatness through him. He can live it through us.
For sure. And that's what I think that gravitated me towards watching y'all a lot this year was just the brotherhood y'all had. And every time I saw y'all, if I had the camera or someone had a camera, y'all were throwing up 10.
Yeah.
And y'all knew what y'all were playing for no matter what. Y'all were coming out with the 10 jersey. Y'all were on the sideline with the coin toss with the 10 jersey. And just seeing that community support y'all and also y'all supporting his family and kind of paying tribute to him this year was really special. So I thought that was really cool as a bystander watching. Definitely a cool moment for sure. But we're gonna kind of wrap this up here. Just some final thoughts. Obviously, you touched on some visits you're gonna be going to. You said Oregon. You went to A&M. You're planning on going to, I believe you said Michigan, and then you went to Texas. As far as official visits, dates go, I know you mentioned a few you're already taking official visits to, but are there any for sure? Are you planning on taking official visits to all these schools before making a decision?
Yeah, I would like definitely before make my decision publicly, I had to take like most and finish my official visits.
Okay, cool. And then what is your timeline? What's the timeline? Is it before the season? Are you going to be someone that wants to do it during the season, senior year, or are you going to be someone that wants to do it before?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it before somewhere in July.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. Well, hey guys, this has been the first recruiting show for VYPE on the VYPE Recruiting Show. We had Chace Calicut here, North Shore's finest. Looking forward to watching what he does the rest of this off season, keeping up with your recruitment and seeing what he does as a senior. Chace, thank you so much. This has been the VYPE Recruiting Show. We'll see you at the game.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.